What a season it's been. 7 weeks of racing, and there's virtually nothing separating our championship contenders. There's been challenges.
Oh, he's got on the curb. No.
There's been triumphs.
But he kept his head down. He kept it tidy. He wins here at Trial Mountain.
And they fought tooth and nail to get here.
Go side by side. Justin covers the inside line. Curving Texas, he's got the lights flashing, trying to outbrake Justin. They're going to go side by side into the bowl at turn 9. They're still there. Walbutton just watching this in his rearview mirror, is getting a great look at the action.
And it's all going to be decided over 18 laps of Dragon Trail on the beautiful Croatian coast. But don't let the scenery fool you, because this circuit is a beast and it can bite. The large, infighting gravel traps on the outside of the circuit, the close barriers down along the seaside, paired with the infamous death chicane. This circuit isn't for the faint of heart. And it's a track that rewards boldness, courage, and most importantly, big cojones. 17 turns, 17 times you have to nail that braking point. Turn the car in at just the right time, but don't carry in too much speed. But be faster than everyone else. Clip the apex, bounce off the curb, keep it out of the wall, out of the gravel, and get as close as you dare to the edge. Nail that perfect lap. Get back to the start line in one piece. Breathe a sigh of relief as you go down the front straight, but then you realize you have to do this 17 more times before the end. 306 turns stand between our drivers and that championship, and that is a lot of turning. Now factor in tyre wear, pit stops, who's around you, what are they doing, what tyres are they running, what tyres are you going to run, what are your rivals doing, what are your championship rivals doing, and you've still got to do this and think about all of this while keeping the car pointing the right direction, going the right way, and going as fast as you can. This is the place where champions are made, where one mistake can cost you everything, and that's why it's fitting that this is where we crown our first ever Adrenaline GT GT3 champions. Who's going to come out on top? Anything can happen right up until you meet that checkered flag, so don't get too comfortable, because we learned that last week. Even if it seems set, it's never over. Impressive. Oh, Irish Rebel's around in the background. That is Irish Rebel facing the wrong way. That is not good for one of our championship combatants. That is massive. Turn 7 actually. And oh, Al Dusty! Al Dusty's in the wall as well. 3 championships still left to decide. Ridwan and Justin hunting for that pro championship. Al Dusty, Irish Rebel, and Mr. Awesome all battling it out for the Pro-Am. And X10 are Sticky Bone and BC Bond pushing for that AM title. It's going to be one hell of a ride. This is the Adrenaline GT GT3 finale. This is it. Welcome everyone to the AGT GT3 Season 1 finale. This is, my name is Isaac, as always, and this is the Lobby C. And we are set for a cracking race today. To bring you all the action, I've got alongside me, as I usually do for Lobby C this season, I've got Ben. Ben, it's a pleasure to have you with me.
Thank you, it's a pleasure to be here. It's going to be great to see what's going to happen in this championship in the amateur section of AGT.
Yeah, 100%. It is shaping up to be a very interesting finale. Let's have a look quickly at our AM standings. So X10 currently leads the way in the AM championship with 14 points over Stiffy Bone, who is in second. BC Bond is only 3 points behind Stiffy Bone in third, so could be fighting for second place at the end of this one. Unchained Chief also only 3 points behind Stiffy Bone and tied with BC Bond on points. So these guys very, very close. Mike Honcho 11 points off that, as well as Macon Bacon, who is 11 points off him. And the other one, we can't see them on the graphic, but Heartstopper is another one who is looking to find his way into the top 10 of the AM standings. So very exciting prospects. Let's have a quick look at our AM championship picture. So if X10 can finish ahead of Stiffy Bone, BC Bond, and Unchained Chief, he will win this championship. Otherwise, he just needs to be within 14 places of Stiffy Bone overall, or 17 places of BC Bond and Unchained Chief overall. Stiffy Bone can win the championship by finishing at least 15 places ahead of X10 and at least 2 places ahead of BC Bond and Unchained Chief. And BC Bond and Unchained Chief can win the championship by being at least 18 places ahead of X-Tanner and 3 places ahead of Stiffy Bones. So a lot to play for in this championship, Ben, and it's very exciting that we bring it to this final round here at Dragon Trail.
It is, and it's a lot of different permutations that can play out in this race, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Definitely, the championship is in X-Tanner's hands. All he needs to do is race safe, stay out of trouble. That's a lot easier saying it than doing it at this track around Dragon Trail. We've got the death chicane. We've got the curbs that will bite you at this track. So I think we'll head over to you for the track map.
Yeah, well, that's nice little segue there. Let's have a look at our track map, as you said. So 5.2 kilometers of tarmac, including a 650-meter front straight. So a nice run out of that final corner will get you a beautiful run down the front straight, maybe slipstream, and make a move into turns 1 and 2. 17 turns. It is a hybrid circuit, so it looks like a normal, just open race circuit with gravel traps at the start, and then when you get down the bottom to the ocean, it is a street circuit. Those barriers really close. A very Monaco feel about this thing. Mandatory medium tyre as well for this race. If we have a look at the little track map in the middle of your screen, we have, as we said, 17 turns. Turns 1 and 2. Turn 2, very heavy braking zone, and if you are brave enough on the brakes, you can pull it up and make a move into that corner. However, there is a gravel trap on the outside of turn 2, and it also will affect your flow into turn 3 if you don't get a nice run through there. Turn 5, if you're close enough through turn 5, you can make a move into turn 6, and then it's pretty much single file from turn 7, 8, and 9, maybe into 8 if you're brave. But that is really only if you're brave. But if you get a good run through Sector 2, coming down to the bottom towards turn 12, heavy braking zone yet again, can find yourself making a move as we enter the street circuit sections. Turns 15 and 16. That is what we are looking at today in terms of all the action. That is, as you mentioned, Ben, the infamous death chicane, as it is affectionately known by all players of Gran Turismo. So that will be something that we will have to keep an eye on, and potentially could cause issues for our drivers. It is heavy damage, so if you find yourself in the wall with damage, you'll have to make a decision of whether you stay out and live with it, or whether you pit early and try and recover later into the race. Turn 17, the final corner of this circuit. If you're brave enough, you can make a move there as well. It's a long, fast right-hander, but if you don't get the right run after you've made the move, people will be able to line themselves up to make a move down that 650-meter front straight, and then reach pretty much your top speed in these cars as you approach the turn 2 braking zone. So a lot to consider around this lap. There's a lot of work that our drivers have to do to get around, and they've got to do it 18 times. Alba will line up on pole for this race. The Pro-Am driver doing a 38.8 to find himself on the pole position. Stiffy Bone, mounting his championship charge, will line up second, and that's a very strong start to trying to put a bit of distance between himself and X-Tanner. Unchained Chief is third, X-Tanner in fourth, BC Bond fifth. So our 4 championship combatants are in the top 5 of this qualifying session. KLP Heartstopper is in 6th, Ascended 7th, Mike Honcho 8th, Macon Bacon 9th. Suns RT Vroom is a new entry to AGT this week, so it's a pleasure to have him with us for our final rounds. He's in the Hurricane as well, so a very different car choice. Great to see someone choosing something different to the Porsche as well again. And Speed failed to set a time in qualifying, so we'll start from the back in this race. Let's stop talking and jump, or I'll stop talking, and we'll jump into the action on the race now. All right, here we go. Alba to lead us away. He's mounting a charge for the top 10 in the Pro-Am standings, so he'll want to have a strong result today and find himself up the order. And our Pro-Am guys already going at it, and we saw that was, I believe, BC Bond having a look on the inside of X-Tanner into turn 2. Doesn't quite make that move stick. There's a little bit of lag early in this race. But yeah, they're going for it early here, Ben. They're not holding back.
They're certainly not. BC Bond really needs to make a few good early moves if he wants to make his case for the championship here.
He certainly does. He needs to make a few certain moves, and we know he can race quite well as we look at, I believe that's Making Bacon and Suns RT going side by side. Not quite now as they come down in towards turn 8, and that will be Suns RT for now holding out in that beautiful monster liveried was a Hurricane. I slipped my mind what that car was for a minute. But you are right. BC Bond, he needs to make some decisive moves early in this one if he wants to find himself fighting for that championship. X-Tanner already finds himself up into third. And now second, actually, as well. So X-Tanner making moves early in this one, finds himself up into second place and cementing his position in the championship. So second place for him as they come through the dash chicane for the first time. Stiffy Bone into the outside wall. And that's going to hurt, Ben, because that is going to be damage to the left-hand side of that car, and that's not what you want when you're fighting for a championship. He cedes the position to Unchained Chief, and you can just see that car is struggling to turn now.
Yeah, he's certainly picked up damage, I think, from that clash against the wall. Interestingly, he stayed out. Unfortunately, he's already lost a position. He's going to be down some speed down here as well, so we'll see if he can hold on. And we'll see if he maybe changes his strategy up during this race as well.
Yeah, we'll have to see if the strategy changes. Obviously, it is a long race, this one. 18 laps around this circuit. And with 16 to go, it becomes a question of, if you pit now, you probably definitely commit yourself to a two-stopper, as I don't think the fuel will last long enough to get you to the end. As we see, Ascended getting loose in the background, and he's now facing the wrong way. So that's another driver coming unstuck. These Porsche drivers really struggling early in this one. Just got loose coming into the braking zone for, I believe that's turn 6, and just got loose. But still, massive understeer as well. Damn, we're seeing drivers struggle early. We saw Slippy in Lobby A make a similar mistake to that one, but I think Ascended managed to keep it out of the wall and just sort of spin. That is Heartstopper as well now. Yellow flags as he looks like he's facing the wrong way. We'll have to figure out what happened with him. But wow, it's all happening early here, Ben. Here we go. This is the move that X-Tanner managed to pull off to find himself up into second place. So Stiffy Bone and Unchained Chief going side by side, gets on the curb on the exit of turn 10 through turn 11, past Unchained Chief and then into the braking zone, nice and deep, and gets slightly into the back of Stiffy Bone actually there and pushes him out of the way. So I have to see if the stewards have anything to say about that, but he now finds himself up in second place, and that's a really strong showing so far for X-Tanner. This then feeds into Stiffy Bone coming through the death chicane and just getting quite loose. You can see carries in a lot of speed, too much curb into the outside wall, and that will hurt. That will cost him a bit of damage, and then, yeah, there comes Unchained Chief just to rub salt in the wound. So here we go. Let's have a look at what happened to Heartstopper. So coming through turn 10, uses a lot of curb, gets quite loose on the exit, and the curb just trips him up. Oh, and it spits him into that outside right-hand wall and just spins the car, but then he manages to catch it. That's a beautiful catch. Spun the car around, has it facing the right way, and manages to keep going. That is beautiful car control to spin that car back around and have it facing the right way.
It sure is. A lot of incidents. I've been hearing since the new update, the Porsche's gotten a fair bit looser in the rear compared to what it was before. So I think the Porsches will definitely be struggling a little bit compared to what they're used to, especially around this kind of circuit with the different undulations and different sort of off-camber corners as well. But here we have a move here from Ascendant, trying to move back up the field.
Yeah, beautiful move up the inside to make it back and pushed him wide. Stiffy Bone, there you go. So we did talk about that at the start of last lap. Would he live with it or would he come in? And he has come in. So pretty much committing himself to that two-stop now, I would say, because I don't think you're going to get to the end here. And Making Bacon and Ascended still going at it as we run down towards turn 2. Beautiful battle between these guys. Mike Honcho just running in 5th at the moment. BC Bonds started to drop off the back of these guys now. Unchained Chief trying not to let X-Tanner go. But it seems that, yeah, gaps are starting to form now. Suns RT has dropped behind. Oh, I think actually he was already behind Ascended and Making Bacon. There was just a bit of a glitch in my my totem. I had this issue last week at Trial Mountain for Lobby A as well. It said that K-Dot dropped into first temporarily when nothing had actually changed. And it was just a glitch in the totem. So everyone's sort of finding their own bit of racetrack at the moment, Ben, and yeah, Stiffy Bone not far off the back of Speed, obviously now trying to recover after that damage. But yeah, what a strong opening few laps. What do you make of the racing so far?
Speed overall, I think it's been pretty good racing. Tanner definitely had made a great start, moving from 4th up to 2nd, really consolidating his spot in the championship. He's now going to be able to control that race and control the championship from where he is. He'd love to get the lobby win here, but he also should remember he's not racing against Alba. Alba's in another division. So I'll be interested to see if he goes for the lobby win or does he just play it safe and go for that championship victory.
Yeah, that's right. Does he try and go for another race win? Obviously, he won last time out at Trial Mountain. That was his first lobby win of the season. So does he fight, as he's not that far off Alba actually at the moment? He is catching him. So does he push, fight for that win, or does he just, you know, take the 2nd place and know that if he finishes here, he's wrapped up this championship? That is the question that he will be pondering, and that we're gonna wonder what he decides to do about. But he has closed up to Alba. A bit of lag in this lobby by the looks of it early on here. You can see the cars sort of moving side to side a little bit, so maybe struggling a little bit in terms of the host this week with connection, but everyone else looks okay, so maybe it could just be the connection of our top 2 races at the moment, because Unchained Chief and a few other guys look pretty stable. Suns RT and Heartstopper going at it now as well. So this is a battle that is now on for 6th place. Suns RT on debut here in AGT, and Heartstopper, this is his, I want to say, 2nd race in AGT. And he really impressed last week in that Audi. Had an unfortunate incident early on in the race, which meant that he dropped to the back and fought back and finished in a really strong P4. So that was really good last week from him. And now, yeah, back on the back of Suns RT, just pushing him along as they go through this death chicane. Very clean through there, those guys. And, yeah, looking to try and find his way back up into 6th place in this one.
Definitely, and it's good to see two relatively new and one brand new members of AGT as well. It's good to see even in the last 1 or 2 rounds, AGT is still attracting new racers, and going to be exciting to see what they can bring in Season 2.
Yes, 100%. It'll be really exciting to see what they can bring in Season 2. He's in the pits now. Mike Honcho is also... something must have happened to him, because he is now in last and peeling into the pit lane. So we'll see if we can figure out what happened to him. That's disappointing for Mike. He had a great race last time out at Trial Mountain. So it's just disappointing for him today. But he's in the pits getting, I believe that is damage being fixed. So I don't think he actually did anything else there. He just fixed the damage and is back out on track now. So a quick stop for him. Speed running in 10th just behind Suns RT. Macon Bacon is sort of on his own at the moment by the looks of it as well. And it looks like he did a 54 last lap, so he may have stopped as well. Stiffy Bone catching up to the back of Heartstopper, who is running in 6th now on his own. Gapped Stiffy Bone, and then obviously Suns RT came into the pit lane. So we'll have to see. That was a very early stop from Suns RT, so not sure whether that is damage related or whether he's going for a very different strategy there, Ben, because I think we'll see most cars come in sometime after lap 8 for this race. Here we go. This is what happened to Mike Honcho coming into turn 6. Uses a lot of curb there. Gets onto the curb on exit. Just spins the car up too much. That Porsche is very taily and he just faces the wrong way. And it's just a bit of a pain there to then try and turn the car around. Gets stuck, yeah, trying to turn the car around. He waits for these guys to go past before he gets it going. Gasses it up, and now he's away. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge to fight back now in this one.
Yeah, this race is a medium mandatory tyre that you must run at least for 1 lap of the race. But yeah, as you said, probably the fastest strategy is going to be to almost split it down the middle. But the big question is, will they go on another medium set of tyres, or will they risk the softs? The softs are a bit quicker, but they are dropping off a lot quicker than the mediums, especially around this circuit. So we'll see what people do here. But those drivers that pitted early, such as Stiffy Bone and Mike Honcho and a few others, they really have set themselves for a two-stop strategy here, which sort of is going to penalize them later on in the race. So we'll see how that plays out. Hopefully they might have some good race pace and they'll be able to bring themselves up the field a bit. But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we will keep an eye on that with great interest and see how that goes, because I think, yeah, as you said, they're pretty much committing themselves to a two-stop strategy. And I had something else that I was going to make a point of, but I've completely forgotten it now. But yeah, no, they're running very well. It is, yeah, very much a two-stop strategy for those guys who have pitted early. The one-stop strategy, you can pull off. I've seen a couple guys across the lobbies pull off the medium to soft tyre strategy. Obviously, you've got to stay out longer on those medium tyres, get them to at least lap 10 to make it somewhat of an optimal strategy. However, you will find that the tyres will wear a fair bit less as there's a lighter fuel load in the car towards the end of this one. So if you started on the softs, you probably wouldn't get very many laps out of them, as I think most of us found in practice. As Unchained Chief, who started on the softs, I say that, he's making my point for me. He's coming in at the end of lap 6 for his stop to medium tyres, which means he's going to have to run longer on those medium tyres, but it will be helped by the fact that there is less fuel in that car than those who started on the medium tyres. So Heartstopper in as well, going for an early stop here as well. So we'll see what tyre he comes out on. Unchained Chief came back out on the medium tyres, which is what he needed to do to meet the mandatory tyre requirements for this one. Heartstopper into the pit lane. Fuel going in to make sure he can get to the end of this one. And what tyre is he going to put on? It's medium tyre. So medium tyres, so medium for Heartstopper. He comes out behind Suns RT, who they were quite close, if you remember, Ben, before the stop came. So that fresh set of tyres really making the difference for Suns RT.
Certainly, the undercut around this circuit is very, very strong. So it does pay off to pit early if you're up against a certain opponent or person you're trying to get in front of. But we'll see how that pans out. The Lamborghini here is going to have a lot older tyres as the race goes on. So we do expect Heartstopper to probably catch him towards the end of the race. So we'll see how that pans out as well. Beautiful looking car, by the way.
Yeah, very beautiful looking car. We may actually find that he may have to do a two-stop Suns RT. I don't know if he's going to get to the end on those on the fuel, mostly over the tyres. I think he could probably hang on to the tyres, but it'll be the fuel that we'll be looking at, as X-Tanner is now in the pit lane, as well as BC Bond. So these guys stopping now, getting off the soft tyre and onto that medium compound tyre. So damage being repaired for X-Tanner, so maybe pick a little bit of something up as he ran through this race. Well, I'm not sure where he would have picked that up, but he has. Oh, Stiffy Bone side by side with BC Bond. That is brilliant stuff. BC Bond around the outside. Oh, sorry, Stiffy Bone around the outside of BC Bond makes that move stick. That is great driving from Stiffy Bone. Obviously had to stop early, and he may yet have to stop again unless he can fuel save like crazy from here. But I don't know if you call that, Ben, but yeah, it was a great move around the outside from Stiffy Bone as BC Bond came out the pit lane.
It certainly was. Stiffy Bone's played himself back into contention here. Coming fourth, he's only one spot behind X-Tanner, ahead of BC Bond. But, as we said before, it looks like he may have to run 2 stops here. So we'll see if he can stay in that spot, or even challenge Tanner. Or will he have to pit stop?
Yeah, that will be the question. I would like to also point out these guys both jumped Unchained Chief as well. So he was ahead of these guys before the stops, and now they are much closer to X-Tanner. So Stiffy Bone and BC Bond, the guys that are hunting down X-Tanner for the championship, are trying to mount the pressure
as they come through the death chicane. I think I was a little bit wide from Stiffy Bone. Maybe picked up some more damage there. As you can see, the run that BC Bond gets is really strong down towards the final corner. He's going to look to make the move. Stiffy Bone tries to squeeze him, but he pulls it off, and that is a brilliant move. They're going to continue this battle as they go down the front straight. We've got 650 meters before they get to the kink that is turn 1, which is obviously still flat. Stiffy Bone pulls out to the side. I thought he would have tried to sit in the slipstream there, because you can see BC Bond in that Aston Martin just has a bit stronger straight line speed and is managing to pull away there from Stiffy Bone. They're still side by side though, making bacon into the pit lane. So he will go. Stiffy Bone gets loose on the exit of turn 3, and that means he drops off the back of BC Bond now. So that pretty much takes a bit of pressure off BC Bond now to say, right, there's a bit of a gap between me and Stiffy Bone. I don't have to stress as much. But it now becomes a question of what sort of pace has Stiffy Bone got in that Porsche, Ben?
Yeah, definitely. That was a very great save there by Stiffy Bone as well. Very easy to put the car in the wall. That could have been his race done and done there. But great save. We'll see if he can push on and get back onto BC Bond here. But with older tyres, it could be quite difficult. Especially as he's got Unchained Chief as well coming up behind him as well. So we'll see what he's got against Stiffy Bone and BC Bond.
Yeah, he's not too far behind. He lost out in pit stop, so he'll be keen to make up for lost time. Alba is now in the pit lane. He ran 9 laps on those soft tyres, so that is a very commendable effort, running 9 laps on those soft tyres. We know the BMW is quite good on tyre wear now as well, so yeah, brilliant to run 9 laps on those tyres. We will see how this plays out for Unchained Chief, because he is not far off the back of this group, or these 2 cars at the moment. The other person that you should factor in this is Heartstopper as well. He very well could play a role in this one. I think there's a fair gap between these guys. Stiffy Bone is in the pit lane, so that is Stiffy Bone in. He was on the soft tyres. He's obviously coming back in to stop again. So Ascended is also in. Tyres going on for him. Where is he going to come up? Where is Heartstopper? Heartstopper is coming into the final corner now. So Ascended should come out ahead of Heartstopper quite easily. Fuel going in for Stiffy Bone. Where are they going to come out? Here is Heartstopper coming down the front straight. Where is Stiffy Bone? He's still in the pit lane. He's only just come out. There he is. So that is Heartstopper now ahead of Stiffy Bone and planning to run to the end of this race, I believe. And Ascended out in front of him onto, I believe that was the soft tyre, if I saw that graphic correctly. Ben, I don't know if you caught that, but it looks like Ascended may have gone into the soft tyre to run to the end of this one. Alright, apologies everyone, we just had some technical difficulties. We are back now though, and hopefully everything runs smoothly to the end. Let's just check in. You can see this is quite close. BC Bond is in the wall! Oh no! That is one of our key championship combatants in the wall at the death chicane. And you mentioned this before the race, Ben, but it catches even the best out sometimes, that death chicane.
It does. I've been caught out there a few times myself as well, but BC Bond's definitely going to have to go in the pits now. That's going to be very, very heavy damage. And as he drives past the pits.
Yep.
So
staying out. He has elected to stay out, which is, I think, a bold call. But that promotes Unchained Chief to a very comfortable 3rd place in this race. There is going to be a lot of heavy front-end damage on that Aston Martin. I think he's going to struggle for the rest of this race. Ascended will be not too far behind, possibly rubbing his hands together at the thought of a 4th place in this race. Heartstopper as well, chasing these guys down. Stiffy Bone, I think it's safe to say that he's in 7th, and he just struggled at the start of this race, and I don't think it's meant to be for the championship for him this season, unfortunately. But he's had a great season, and we'll be really looking forward to what he can do in Season 2, because he has got a lot of pace in that Porsche.
Certainly, and it'll be interesting to see if he stays with the Porsche as well, and what a lot of the drivers do here moving into Season 2 as well, especially with the new update of the physics. The current cars may not suit them now to what they were used to, so we'll see what happens there. But Stiffy Bone's definitely been one of the biggest improvers. I feel in the amateur class, and
Oh, he's done the
be
same
interesting.
thing
Oh,
again.
yeah,
Oh, just clips that inside wall at 15. That's ascended into the wall in the background. Power slides into the wall on the outside of turn 16. And that is so frustrating for BC Bond because he has driven brilliantly this race up until this point. It's just the same mistake 2 laps in a row. I think they're both going to choose to stay out again, actually, which is very interesting. But it means that now Heartstopper is right behind these guys, ready to pick up the pieces. So these guys may be going to try and run to the end. So, yeah, sorry to jump in over the top of you there, Ben. But, yeah, as you were saying, Stiffy Bone, he definitely is one of the most improved from this AM category this season.
certainly, but no need to apologise. A lot of action there between BC Bond and Ascendant. As you said, it's going to be interesting to see if Heartstopper can take advantage of this and look for a really solid 4th position.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be really interesting to see what he can do. He had I believe it was a 4th place last week, which was really good for him on debut, and he'll be looking to back that up with a 4th place this week as well. It was 4th place last week, so he might be joining Curving Texas from Lobby A in being a P4 merchant if he can pull that one off, because that's at the moment Curving Texas. He's had 3 races and finished P4 in all 3 of them, and Heartstopper, he's going to be looking to do the same thing. 2 races and P4 in both of them. As Ascender looks up the inside of BC Bonds, slightly less damage on that Porsche maybe than what's on the Aston Martin. He's looking to make a move as they enter the street circuit section of the circuit. Use as much curb as you can through here, and then as fast as you dare through. He gets a nice run as close to that wall as he can possibly get without touching it. That was a beautiful run through the death chicane that time for Ascended. But I think he's just dropped off back a little bit. And you can see Heartstopper, without damage, the pace difference he has over these guys in front of him, who are obviously struggling with now aero and suspension damage. And Heartstopper, he's just so much quicker than these guys and able to catch up so much easier.
He's really pulled up to them very, very quickly in this last lap. It's going to be probably... And we can see Stiffy Bone's not too far behind either, so this could become a 4-way battle quite quickly.
It very well could, as Ascended goes up the inside into turn 2. A beautiful move. Makes that one stick very nicely, and now he's going to try and pull away a little bit from Heartstopper because he is faster than BC Bond, but he's not as fast as Heartstopper, so he's going to want to try and put a bit of distance between himself and BC Bond before Heartstopper can get past him. But he is lurking now, Heartstopper, on the back of BC Bond, looking as to where he can make that move work. He's not as close as he probably would like to be through here, but this is where the damage will hurt BC Bond. He won't get as nice a run through here, and you can see he is a little bit closer through there, Heartstopper, than he was last time. Might be able to make a move stick if he can get close enough down to the hairpin. He looks at it, he has a think about it. You can see that was there in the back of his mind to make a dive up the inside, but he backs out of it, pulls back into the normal racing line, and will just follow him through this section because he knows that he's stronger through here. So he knows that he has the measure on BC Bond through here in terms of mechanical grip and aero. Oh, very loose, carrying a lot of speed through that death chicane. I think that just compromised his run a little bit because he had to back right out of the throttle to make sure he kept the car out of the wall. But somehow he's still closer, and you can see that is the difference, Ben, between having damage and not having damage, because he's right on the back of him now as they enter the front straight.
He certainly is, and he'd be looking to make a move here.
Yeah, he's going side by side.
Should be able to make the move very easily there on BC.
Sorry, I keep coming in over the W. He's made that stick. He's done brilliantly. That is a great move, and it means that now he can set after Ascended in P4.
Yes, and I think he does have the speed over Ascended as well. So we'll just see what he can do. And again, Stiffy Bone is coming up quite quickly on BC Bond. Don't forget, Stiffy Bone will have the least amount of fuel as well as the freshest tyres probably in this whole pack. So he'll be able to catch them quite quickly, especially with BC Bond and Ascended with that damage there that they've taken earlier.
Yeah, that's very much, you are right. The damage that they took early on in this one will affect them as BC Bone gets quite wide on the curb there. Stiffy Bone
a lot of racetrack left to use, so probably taking it very easy. Suns VRT is down in 8th place in this one, so a very strong debut for him in AGT. Megan Bacon currently sits down in 9th. Speed is 10th, and Mike Honcho is just... It's been a very difficult, shall we say, yeah, very difficult race for him, just that early incident, and means that he's now down the order and he's just struggled to recover in this one. And actually, they're getting a bit close to being lapped here by Alba if they make a mistake or something little happens between now and the end. They very well could be lapped by our race leader, who was quite comfortably running out in first at the moment with a fair gap to X-Tanner behind, who is also having a fairly healthy gap to Unchained Chief and holding on to that AM Championship. Ascended and Heartstopper, here we go. This is what we were looking for. This is what you were talking about, Ben. Closing up to the back. He has a lot more pace than Ascender does, and he's wanting to make that move stick, and he wants to get it done soon. And they're right on the back as we come down towards turn 5. He'll try and get a good exit through here to maybe make a move into turn 6. He has a look, doesn't quite make it stick, didn't go deep enough into the corner to pull that one off. But there's a run through here. If he can get a nice run through here, he could either make a move down to turn 8 if he's bold, or he can stick in behind, get a nice run through here, which I think is what he's going to do. He's going to try and get a nice run through. He got a bit of a compromised line, running the tighter line on the exit to turn 8. And I think he's just a little bit too far off the back, but he will have the straight line speed power and the slipstream as they run down towards turn 12. Here we go. This is where he'll make the move stick for P4. Up the inside. Looks to make a stick. Back slightly out of it, but is side by side coming into the corner. Ascender broke much later than Heartstopper did. They're going to go side by side into this street circuit section, and Heartstopper backs out of that. So didn't want to risk going side by side through the death chicane section of the circuit, so backed out, which I think was a smart move from Heartstopper, because he, as you said, Ben, he has the pace, so he doesn't really have to rush too much to make this one stick.
No, certainly doesn't. But that was very nice defensive driving there by Ascendant. Broke late to defend his spot, gave Heartstopper a lot of good racing room, and held his spot. But as we can see here as well, this is now inviting BC Bond and Stiffy Bone back into the pack as well. Stiffy Bone is coming really quickly on the back of BC Bond, and BC Bond is hanging around as well. He's hoping that Heartstopper Descended may make a mistake and give him a freebie here.
Yeah, they are really hoping that something might happen to maybe bring these guys in front of him undone and gift him a couple places, but I don't think that's going to happen. These guys, they're racing hard, but they're racing fair, and it's really good to see. Ascended right in front of Heartstopper. Heartstopper, he got a good run through here last time. Can he make the same move this time? He has a slightly different line to Ascended, which means he gets a nicer run through turns 10 and 11. They get a great exit. He's right on the back of Ascended this time. He's closer than he was last time, so surely the move is on this time down into turn 12. Into the braking zone we go. He sticks in behind again this time, but takes the narrower line. Ascended brakes later, runs wide. They're side by side again coming into this section, and I think this time Ascended might have him. Sorry, Heartstopper might have him, and he does. That is a beautiful move from Heartstopper. Brilliant, smart driving from him to pull that move off on Ascended. He tried it the lap before, didn't quite work out the way he wanted, but he remained calm, he remained calculated, and as I say this, Stiffy Bones side by side with BC Bonds down into the final corner. They make contact, front to rear contact, and that puts Stiffy Bone up into 6th place. But this isn't over yet. Down the front straight, BC Bond in the slipstream. The two yellow cars, the lights are flashing. He's getting aggressive. He doesn't want to lose that 6th place. Stiffy Bone covers the inside. BC Bond might have to look to the outside, but that would give him the inside of this corner. But no, he's not close enough to make a move, and I think that is going to be it for BC Bond. That was probably about the best chance he had to defend that position, because now they're into the technical part of the track where you really need to not have any damage to be quicker, and the amount of damage that BC Bond is currently carrying, Ben, means that he will be compromised through here. But that was brilliant racing.
Certainly, that was great racing, but all drivers here. And as we can see now, Stiffy Bone is coming up to Ascendant. Ascendant's gone wide, so we'll see if Stiffy Bone can take care of that.
Oh! And he's backwards, facing the wrong way. Does a little bit of a donut to get him going again. That is unfortunate from Ascended. As you mentioned, he went wide, coming through on the exit of turn 8 into turn 9. And that just meant that through turn 9, that car was quite unsettled. And he just lost the rear end in that very taily Porsche.
Yeah, as I said, Porsche's definitely gotten a lot more taily, since the last update. So Ascendant's probably struggling a bit with worn tyres now as well. And it looks like BC Bonds again, unfortunately, come to trouble in the death chicane.
Yes, it did look like he found himself as the victim yet again of that death chicane, but he will hold on to 6. There's a fair gap to him and Ascended, so hopefully he can hold on to that one. I think Ascended will have a lot less damage than BC Bonds, so there's a fair gap for him to close, but he very well could close it, so we'll keep an eye on that. But as we are talking, Alba, he's driven a brilliant race, and he's had a great season. This win will move him up to, in terms of where he finishes overall, will move him up to the top 10 in the Pro-Am standings. So that's a great result from him to find himself moving up. This is his first lobby win of the season. He's been fairly quiet for most of the season. The quiet mover and shaker he has been in terms of the Pro-Am standings, but he has driven brilliantly, and this is the other man we are talking about, X Tanner. He has had, is that it's a car, what was that? I just saw a car backwards at the chicane, and I believe that was speed. I'm going to have to get a replay of that because I just absolutely lost my mind. What I just saw, I thought I was seeing things, but Alba is going to win, and this man, X Tanner, he is going to do enough to secure the AM Championship. X Tanner is your AM champion for Season 1. Unchained Chief will find himself moving up to 2nd place in the AM Championship with this podium today. Heartstopper, he will hold on to 4th place in this race to make it 2 weeks in a row. He has finished 4th and find himself in the top 10 of the AM Championship. He'll actually just going to confirm 100% where he will finish in the championship. He will finish 9th overall in the championship. So great result for him. Stiffy Bone comes home in 5th to hold on to 3rd in the championship. BC Bonds, he's quite close with Ascended now, so there's a fairly small gap between the two of them at the end of that one. But he will hold on to 6th. But yeah, very frustrating for him today with that death chicane, just getting caught out a few times. Suns RT, a great race for him on debut, making bacon as well, still running on track. He's had a bit of an up and down season. He ran really well last week until a couple mistakes and a couple incidents caught him out. But we'll be looking forward to seeing Tony come back for Season 2 as well. So, yeah, great racing all around today, Ben. This is what happened to Speed on the final lap, coming into the death chicane. Just, clips that inside wall and spits him into the outside wall, and then X Tanner just manages to thread the needle and get past him there. So, really unfortunate for Speed with just a lap, or just a few corners to go in this one, that he just gets caught out by that inside wall at the death chicane.
Certainly was. A lot of incidents as well during the race, but a lot of good battling as well. Congratulations to X Tanner as well for taking out the first ever amateur title here at AGT. He's had a great season, very solid, very fast, and we'll look to see what he can do next season when he potentially moves up to Pro-Am as well. So we'll see what happens there. Congrats to Alba as well, first lobby victory of the season. Best time to do it is last race of the season. That's what everyone remembers. So Alba will definitely take a lot of confidence in that going into Season 2 as well.
Yeah, definitely. That is the one that everyone remembers. And yeah, so they're very, very great, very, very good. Sorry, to see that from him in this final race. I've got to ask you, Ben, your driver of the day. Who have you got? Who are you going to give it to for this one?
Driver of the day. Few contenders here. I'd probably have to go. We didn't really see a lot of him today, but probably have to go Unchained Chief. Very solid. He stayed out of trouble. He got the podium and he moved up to 2nd in the amateur championship as well. So very solid result there from Unchained Chief. And be glad to have him back next season as well.
Yeah, definitely. Can't wait to see him fighting for that EM Championship next season. Let's have a look at our results one more time. So Alba brings that one home for a brilliant race victory. X-Tanner comes home in second, but does have the fastest lap of the race as well for Lobby C. So great result for him. Unchained Chief comes home in third. Heartstopper fourth. Stiffy Bone fifth. BC Bond in sixth. Ascended seventh. Suns RT on debut in eighth. Macon Bacon ninth. And Speed 10th and Mike Honcho 11th. So those guys unfortunately finishing a lap down. Very disappointing for them, including that spin at the chicane right on the last lap for Speed. Ben, thank you so much for joining me this evening. It's been a pleasure to have you in the commentary box for various races throughout the season.
No worries. Thanks for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been a pleasure to commentate alongside you and see all the magnificent drivers that we've got here at AGT GT, and we look forward to seeing it grow and be bigger and better next season.
Yeah, definitely. We have a 3-week break. We're back. Racing begins on the 27th of August, and the race replays will go live on the 30th of August, Friday the 30th. So mark your calendars for that. In the meantime, make sure you go and check out the other lobbies and also all the other races in case you missed them. It's been one hell of a season. We look forward to having your company for Season 2. We thank you so much for watching and following along for this Season 1 of AGT. We're going to do it bigger and better next season. We can't wait to bring you all the action right here on the AGT YouTube channel. For now, my name has been Isaac. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.